Hi, I'm Casey and I have a crush on food. And today I have a crush on broccoli. That's right, I have a crush on broccoli. And I'm going to show you how to roast it in the oven with some red bell pepper and make it really easy for you to make for your family. So I have 2 broccoli crowns here, about a pound of broccoli crowns. Now you can certainly buy a bag of pre-washed, pre-cut broccoli florets. But this is actually cheaper and it's not that hard to cut them off. So we're just going to cut at the stems. You don't want to leave the stems too long because that part of the broccoli is really fibrous. So just chop them off, just like that. If you get kind of a big one, you can chop it in half if you want. I chopped up the broccoli. It's all done. Broccoli is a vegetable, and you know what I'm going to say. It's good for you. Broccoli has a lot of fiber. It even has some calcium in it, and it's green, so you should eat it. And we're going to put some butter and olive oil in a pan. You've seen me do it before, and I'm going to do it again. We're going to roast them in the oven. It's going to be delicious. So I got the oven at 375, and I have a skillet here on the stove, and it's at about a medium heat or medium high. So I'm going to add the butter, 1 tablespoon, and then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. They're going to melt, well, the butter will melt and mix with the olive oil. And we're going to put our salt and pepper in before we add the vegetables. So I have 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Gonna get excited there. There we go. So we're going to add the broccoli and the bell pepper and just toss it around a little bit. Just want to coat it with the butter and the olive oil and the seasoning before we put it in the oven. I got the broccoli all tossed, so it's all coated with the olive oil and the butter and the salt and pepper. It only took about a minute or 2, so you don't want to leave it in the pan too long. So now I'm going to transfer it to a baking sheet before we put it in the oven. Now on a crunch, if you have an oven-safe skillet, you can definitely put the skillet in the oven and you can roast it in there. Or if you just don't want to do an extra dish. I think it cooks a little bit more evenly on a baking sheet, but there's no right or wrong. So we're going to cook them for about 15 minutes in the oven. Now if you like your broccoli crunchy, it will still get nice and brown in the oven, and you can leave it in for a little bit less time. If you leave it in for 15 minutes or a little bit longer, it will get really brown and soft, and it's really good like that. So I'm going to stick them in the oven. Broccoli's done! Hooray! It's nice and brown. It looks great. So, I didn't tell you before, but there's variations that you can do. You don't have to put the bell pepper in, for instance. If you want to put a little bit of cayenne pepper in the seasoning with the salt and pepper, that'll give the broccoli a little kick, and that's tasty too. But if you have kids and they don't like spice, then you wouldn't necessarily do that. I like broccoli this way. It's different, it's not stir-fried, it's not boiled, it doesn't have a lot of sauce on it. It's healthy and it's easy. So I hope you try roasted broccoli.